Tonight, we continue our investigation into youth head injuries. We found close to 200,000 concussions happen every year on the high school football field.
Last night, we examined the standards local schools use when purchasing football helmets, and we found that 36 helmets in Tulsa middle schools falling within the national standards are almost as old as the 13 and 14-year-olds using them.
Well, tonight, in part 2 of our special report, 2 News anchor Max Resnick looks at the medical side of concussions and whether these traumatic head injuries can be prevented.
I see it and I hear this hit, and it sounded just ferocious, like 2 bowling balls is hitting.
Turned around to block a guy, and next thing I know, I'm on the ground, and my coaches and doctors were hovering over me, asking me questions and asking me to move my feet.
Son Colby and father Kenny recall the same play from 2 very different vantage points. In October, in Adair, Colby was knocked unconscious going for a block on a kickoff. He was carted off the field and taken to the hospital.
Makes your body really go stiff. You don't really know what to do. Just laying there, strapped down to it, can't move. Just kind of weird.
We see them anywhere from 1 a week to 1 a month, roughly, depending on what season it is. Depending on, football season is usually a peak season.
Dr. Theron Bliss with St. John says the 13 to 15 age group often comes to his office suffering the most concussions, but some are younger.
Usually, we see them anywhere from 10, 11, starting pretty young.
According to a recent head impact study, most of these concussions happen during football practice. Rydell lost a lawsuit earlier this year based on marketing claims that their helmets can prevent concussions. Bliss says show the proof.
Helmet companies will say that. It's never really been objectively proven. A lot of it comes with just the proper equipment, proper fit, and using the equipment properly.
In Green Country, minimizing concussions begins with education, mandated by the Oklahoma Secondary Schools Activities Association.
We have to show a concussion video to everybody on our staff, and they sign off that they have seen that and they understand the symptoms and what to look for in their student athletes.
There's also a focus on the helmets and pads kids use, which area high schools say are purchased based on the NOCSE standard, the National Operating Committee on Standards for Athletic Equipment, and NARA, the National Athletic Equipment Reconditioners Association.
Every one of them have to be, or we don't put them out there. We just can't afford to do that.
Helmets are given a 10-year shelf life under the standard. They're also to be reconditioned. TPS does that every year. They need to be recertified regularly. TPS says they do that twice within a 10-year time frame. If helmets like these are determined to be too damaged to be worn again, they destroy them.
If there's a crack around the ear holes or where the face mask has been drilled through there, it's done. You don't repair them. You destroy them. We can't put them out there.
Regardless of the standards, regardless of reconditioning or recertification, the bottom line is simple.
No equipment's been shown to prevent and at best reduce concussions.
And regardless of the helmet maker, it seems proper tackling technique is the best cure for the concussion for now.
That's with the head up, not with the head down.
Colby spent a month on the bench after his concussion last year, but there's no doubt about the upcoming season for Colby or Kenny.
If I had any doubt whatsoever, I wouldn't let him play football.
Colby will play as a member of the Choteau Wildcats junior varsity football team as a tight end and hopes to grace the gridiron as a member of the varsity team sometime this year. Max Resnick, 2 News works for you.
Now, we contacted Rydell and Shutt for comment. Rydell says it recommends helmets be reconditioned every year. The company also says helmets should be properly maintained and it won't recondition any helmet older than 10 years. Shutt says that while they comply with the 10-year shelf life rule, they don't believe the science supports such a limit. Shutt argues use will determine a helmet's condition.